Hello,
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 hello.
hello. How are you doing, Zach?
I'm doing good. It's pretty cold here, so I'm wearing my favorite jacket.
It's summer in India and it's hot.
15 degrees here. It feels like 40.
hmm. Weirdly, it's double of it.
Mm.
And
I
guess
know.
what?
Yeah,
Today is Champions League final cricket. And guess who are playing it?
I know New Zealand playing and West India. I'm not a cricket fan, but I have seen a lot of the Black Caps into finals. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Finals and New Zealand and India. So, yeah.
Yes. So what time is the match?
In about half an hour or 1 hour. Yeah, not a
Okay.
cricket fan, but yeah, that's when it starts.
Same kind of day. So tomorrow morning I'll be seeing it. Yeah. Actually, Black Caps playing very well, right? They were playing very well.
I'll just
I,
not do it. I don't know. I don't know.
uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even I was
mm.
awesome. So,
But India, as I know, Indian team is always there, right? Like they always playing very well. As I know, like Indian team is like cricket team. Rest of the teams usually
uh,
one of them, right? Like
right, but still, I don't follow them hardcore.
uh,
So, yeah, I know that they are playing well at their winning. That's all. So, I don't know if
yeah,
it's their peak form or what is it.
yeah. Cool.
Awesome. So, Zach,
Yes.
there was an interesting announcement. You did try it out. A lot of things, a lot of updates around it.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that's what we decided. Like, okay, yeah, let's talk about it now.
yeah. Exactly. Yes. So this announcement, it's more related to AWS CodePipeline. And as a container fan, it's it's related to the Kubernetes ecosystem as well. So that's why I wanted to talk about today. And I thought of because there are a lot of buzz here and going there, a lot of comments, a lot of messages, even in the community builders channel and the heroes channel, even like people are trying out and facing some issues, and we work together. And I used to, I had a chance to work with a community builder. I think he's from Bangalore as well. Um, Unfortunately, I forgot his name.
Jatin,
So
right?
yes. I'm so sorry, but yes, I forgot his name. But he published an article already, and it was super amazing. So I thought of okay, go bit deep dive and try to understand because it's a kind of like a curious cat, right? Like try to figure it out what's going on behind the scene, and try to figure it out. So that's the link Zach has already shared about the announcement. So I think I thought of maybe I'll share my screen and let's go a bit deep on it. Cool.
Yes.
Nice. So this is the announcement.
Okay.
It's done on February 20th. So I was not well last couple of few days, and then I started write about this, and I tried this on exactly February 26th, and
Mhm.
we start writing on 27th. I was at Wellington Airport on the way to traveling to Melbourne, and then halfway through I stopped it. Then when I returned, I was unwell and I couldn't find. I wasn't able to complete it, but finally I finished it. So thought of let's talk about it.
Yeah, the
So
blog is finally deployed.
yes, yes. So if you have anyone familiar with code pipeline, code build, all this ecosystem, um, previously we didn't have opportunity like option that you can directly deploy to a EKS cluster, um, any deployment. So I have been there, and in around like 2019, 2020. Oh man, it's 6 years ago, right? 5 years ago now already. And you have to create a code build project, and install all the Helm commands or kubectl, and run the code build like a workaround, and you can do those deployments. But ECS still supports like code deploy. You can have blueprint deployments natively, right? But this announcement catch my eye because it says natively support. So Code Pipeline natively now support to do your Amazon EKS deployment. So I thought, okay, let's give a try. Then I went through this, and I noticed another key point. Whether Zach ever noticed, they're saying if you wanted to deploy EKS cluster within a private network, you had to initialize and maintain a computer environment within private network, which means you had to have a worker for the
Mm-hmm.
deployment. Even the code build agent, right? Like code build project should be run inside the same VPC, the same subnet, or um, there should be network connectivity. But this one, basically, you have to just select your cluster. That's it, and you have to give some permissions, obviously, in your code pipeline service role. It will do the deployment everything. And I was I was figuring out how it works and everything. I get a lot of information, so I'm more than happy to share with you all today about that. Cool. So yeah,
Basically, code pipeline managing the private network part of it, and you just have to manage the service roles.
service roles we have to manage because another again it's a shared user responsibility, right? But the creating the network interfaces and those permission setups and everything, it's managed by the code pipeline, so you don't have to do anything. So we are going to see a live demo, um,
May
and
the demo
definitely
gods be with you.
yes. So we are going to see the live demo later, and definitely we can go through that. So before go ahead, if anyone is confused with what is code pipeline, code build, definitely there are amazing articles, amazing blog articles from community builders, heroes. It's available, and definitely you can figure it out. And Amazon document, Amazon Q now. You can ask from Amazon Q. Uh, that's amazing too.
Amazon Q
And
is available on the CLI as well, so
oh yes, yes, yes.
maybe another
Yeah,
episode to talk about it. But yeah,
yes, yes, definitely, 100%. So let's quickly sketch like how the code pipeline works, right? So usually you have a source control. I know my text are a bit smaller, so I'm going to make it a bit bigger, font
you can
size
just choose L
large.
or Excel. Yeah,
Excel
Excel is
should be
better.
fine, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So we should have a source controller like GitHub, GitLab, or anything. And then we should have something for the building stage, right? And we have building stage, and we can have sorry, and we can have a testing stage, and we can have a deploy stage, and you can have SAS scannings or uh, anything you want. You can have multiple stage on your pipeline, right? So this entire thing we can put inside a bigger box. If I draw like this, we can set up everything inside the code pipeline. So if I put here code pipeline, worst place to write. Yeah, yeah. So this is a basic pipeline, right, Zach? You have the
Yep.
source, you push it, there's build, test, and deploy, and so on. But today's demo, I'm not going to implement the test one because it's just a demo. But you should implement test. You have to take test very seriously
Of
before you
course,
push to
for all the
production.
production ones. But this
Yes,
is a demo. Yeah.
yes, for demo. Yes. So a source, we have a nice application called Dogo app. My favorite app. I love the Dogo the meme. So I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's Dogo, right? Or Dogo or Dojo or yeah.
Dodge is the, I mean,
Yes.
it's Dodge is the crypto thingy, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Dogo is the meme
So
thing.
maybe yes, the meme thingy, right? Yes, cool. And we can we I thought of, okay, I could have done it like showing only the deployment part, but thought of, okay, let's do it end-to-end pipeline to make it more sense and make it more fun, and rather just do the deployment and do it right. So source, and we have the build. So the build, So the build, what we are going to do, we are just basically going to, if I go to my build spec YAML, so the build spec is basically read by the code build. So all these steps are there. If you're familiar with code build or GitHub Actions, you will see these the action YAMLs, right? So same like that. Inside the code build, you can specify your build spec YAMLs. And I have one build spec YAML here, and this repo is public available. Later we can share, and you can try it out. So that's the purpose of this demo and my blog as well. And here, what I'm trying to do, basically, I'm just logging to the ECR, and I have a ECR repo. And if I quickly go to show that, so I have a repo here called Go-app ECR. So basically, what I'm trying to do, I'm just building. There's a Docker file inside my repo. I'm building this JavaScript app and building the container image and pushing to the content repository. So later we can use the image to deploy to our Kubernetes cluster. So that's the purpose about it. Cool. So the build stage later, what we do, I have a ECL. I have a ECR. Why it should come middle here. And I really love this tool.
Xcarry Draw is one of my
Yes.
favorite as well.
Yes. So let's put some arrows. It looks nice, right? So let's connect it here. Yeah.
It's a pipeline, so you have to get things connected.
Oh, definitely, 100%. And here we have a EKS cluster. So let's put as like a VPC, okay? And the cluster is running in the private subnets. So that's a important point. It's running this private subnet. So we have talked about EKS auto mode. I think 2 episodes before, right, Zach?
Yes.
So this for this demo, I have created the cluster using as a EKS auto mode cluster. So I don't have to set up all these add-ons and everything. It's super easy. I just yes.
The entire EKS playlist is there.
Yes. And we have a cluster here, EKS cluster with auto mode enabled. And the special part is the endpoint access is a private. So which means it's only available via a private. So you can't access from your home machine unless you have set up these VPNs and complex network setup. So for the demo purpose, I'm going to use my favorite Cloud Shell to communicate with the cluster later. Thanks to that, I don't have to spin up EC2 instance and install all these things, right? That is super easy. So end of this demo, the plan is will be deploying it here, and this EKS cluster should be able to pull the container image from our ECR. So this is very simple, right? So basically a source and build and push to ECR, and later the deploy, it will pull the image from the ECR. So it's clean. So this is what we're going to talk about today. And it's really amazing when we are setting up the private networking part. Cool. So let's go to the Kubernetes cluster first. So anything, we have to start with Kubernetes. Without Kubernetes now. So this is what I was talking about. So my API server endpoint access is private. So usually, Zach, there are 3 options, either public or private or public and private. Okay, so here is fully private, which means there's no way I can't access from my home unless it's there's a VPN setup, complex setup running in and there are TGW connectivities and so on. There's so many things. So One more thing, the cluster security group. So it's a security group which is attached to ENI, and here you can see I have already enabled my cluster VPC to access. So which means all traffic from the VPC itself should be able to communicate with the cluster. Right? It's another a basic point, but it's a very important point. When I tried this out, I would like to accept my failure. I was trying it out. When they announced it, within few minutes, I managed to deploy it for a public endpoint. It's working fine, and I was trying to figure it out. What's wrong with why I can't do to the private, because according to the documentation, it says it should well do. Then I missed a very silly thing. I forgot to check the security group. So
Yeah.
always be simple. Always simplicity comes number one, right? Because remember, last year reinvent. What is the key?
Simplicity.
So
Yeah.
always think the basics. So make sure your PCO, the network connectivity. Check the security groups. Yes, cool. So we check the ECR, and it's okay. And we went through the build spec YAML. It's super simple. Later, you can go through this code and you can check, and it's basically building the container image and just pushing to the ECR. That's it. Cool. So now let's go to okay. And one more thing I want to show here. It's EKS auto mode enabled. I love auto mode. It saves a lot of time. Nice. So before we go ahead, before we run the pipeline, I will go to the code pipeline. So already the pipeline is set up. I'll show some of the cute things. And while I was trying this out, Amazon released a change. They update the UI of the code pipeline. Trust me, for my first screenshot is a different than this one. I think I took today. Yes, and I was playing around with some other things today morning, and this is really cool. This is really user friendly, and I would say, like, imagine if you have multiple actions, multiple jobs, and it would be easy to visualize here, because you see you can click the screen, and it's really cool. So it's all green here. Yes, but if I go to execution, you might see there are so many failures. So 3 pages of failures. So yeah,
The failure ones are the private endpoints one.
private. And I was playing around with so many other things. I tried to add multiple jobs, and playing around with different kind of a combinations, and because my weekends are free, nothing to do. And I
So
love
you
it.
break the system. Okay.
Yes. Cool. Let's go and edit the pipeline, and the trigger. So this is my trigger. So whenever I push to the main branch, it will trigger it. So it's a basic thing in code pipeline. So we are not going to talk about the basic structure of code pipeline. If anyone wants, we can do a deep dive about code pipeline. So my source, it's really easy. You can connect to the GitHub via GitHub app now, and it's connected, and my repos are here, and I already connect the repo, and my main branch is main. So you can have your own branch if you want, like a dev branch or release branch, staging branch, feature branch, whatever. So the build. So I wanted to show the build because so here where we creating our container image, right? So let me go to code build in new tab. Cool. Have to go app, edit. So if you're going to try this out, you have to do some small changes. I already have updated in my here additional configuration under environment. Yeah, so you have to add some
Set the
variables.
environment
Variables. Why? Because here we are using some environment variables. You can hard code it for the demo sakes, but this is how I used to do it. So I thought of just keep it as it is. So in case if you want to have multi-container, because that's what I was trying out previously, have a different container names. So if you have a environment variable setup, so easy, you can use the same code build YAML. And for example, if you're running a platform, having variables like this easy, so anyone can use this file.
Variables is
So,
also one of the best practices, right? Like,
yes, 100%. Yeah. So that is one of the thing I want to show, and nothing much. It's a rest of the things are basics, and yeah, we are not going to talk about code build today. We have super amazing stuff to talk later. So I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going here. So we are going to the important part now. It's so cold, and I'm getting thirsty. I don't know, sorry, and I really love this tumbler. Thanks, Jason Dunn. This is amazing.
the community builders Tumblr.
Yeah, that is so good. So the deploy stage, you can see now action provider, you have directly these multiple actions, right? So directly you have now Amazon EKS. So this is really amazing. And I can select my region. And the best part here, you see,
Cluster.
the cluster, because my cluster here is automatically detecting. So I don't have to do anything. I just have to click the cluster. And the Helm release. So in when you're doing Helm releases, right? So you have to pass a release name. That's where where you that's the name that you're going to use for your Helm release. And the Helm chart location. So here you have to have your entire Helm chart inside your repository. So you have to give the path of that Helm chart. So for example, if I go here, my Helm chart inside this folder, EKS Helm chart. So under here, I have my templates, all my manifests here, my deployment. So in this release, I'm going to do a deployment, HPA. Sorry, there's a typo here, HAP. It should be a horizontal pod autoscaler, and ingress class, pod disruption budget, and a service. So I'm going to deploy all these six manifests. And I have my value file here, and I am passing all this information. And inside my code, my local setup, if I show you, I have my repository URL and the tag and everything set up already here. So yeah, let's go back to here. And yes, so you can set up the folder structure like this. And another thing, I'll come back to it later. Before that, you can have multiple values. So like if you want to overwrite values, like if you have the common value, and if you want to have environment-specific values, you can have those environment-specific values. For example, if you want to have some different container tags or something like that, you can have it, or different values for your dev environment, different values for your production environment. You can segregate those things. And if you have a namespace, so you can override it, and you can imagine you have multiple pipelines for this, and you can override and each pipeline with the different namespaces, so you can have the resources in different namespace. But it's everything from this demo. I already have my namespace set up in my value file, which is a default. So we are going to deploy everything in the default namespace. And here I'm just leaving the security group IDs. I'm not going to touch the security groups or subnets or security group IDs. I'm not gonna run this action inside a subnet, or I'm not going to use any security group for this action. So that is what he's saying, right? So if you go back to the document here, the application without additional infrastructure needed, so we should be able to deploy to the EKS cluster. Cool. So on variables, that's it. I'm just going to cancel it. Nice. Just cancel, discard changes. Cool. So remember, we have our Helm charts already inside this folder, right? It's inside the your source code itself. So let's say you want to use a generic version of a Helm chart, like if you have uh, like a platform, right? So in that case, basically, what you can do, you can have you don't have the build spec here. I mean, you don't have to have a three-step here. Maybe you can have another extra step where you can pass these artifacts. Like every action you can pass. I go to the edit section here. Where's the? I'll go to build section here. Maybe I'll show the edit from here. So output artifact. So you can have those values, all the configuration inside that output artifact, and you can basically Zach pass from one job to another one. Okay, I have done my job, and my artifacts are here. Now it's your problem. Take it to you, and you can do from there. So what I'm trying to say is like you can have another job running here, and then you don't have to have your Helm chart or
Part of
your
the source
manifest
code.
file part of the source code. You can have a separate Helm chart source code, and you can pull that to there, and you can use the native deployment there as well. So it will be adding another step. Actually, I tried to set up something, but I couldn't see because right, I was having dry eyes, and I thought actually even to surprise you today, but maybe can try that option as well. So the code pipeline is amazing. You can have multiple different combinations. It's up to you. Like it's like bake your own cake. 2 spoons of sugar. Maybe I don't like sugar. I don't need sugar. So something like that. You can have your own one. Cool, eh? So yes. So while you're waiting, right? Well, so it's already deployed. So if I go to the cluster, and I love this feature as well here. So you can see some pods are running. So metric service, it's metric service. It's running into the code system namespace. It's nothing to do with my deployment. It's a add-on actually, and I have 3 deployments running here. And if I go to where's my network tab? Okay, network here, and I should have ingress. So this is the ingress object. Basically, it's creating via here.
The ingress template. Okay.
Yeah. And if I go back here, if I open this, okay. So yeah, as you can see. Oh, I should. Okay. You can see my Mr. Doggo app. The Doggo. It's rotating. So it's version 1. So what we are going to do now, we'll try to change something, Zach. Ugh. We'll go to and we'll change it.
Yeah,
to
Zach, can you zoom in on the IDE a little?
yes, sure. Sorry. Why my keys not working?
Okay.
Can I zoom here? So I recently switched to Lipstorm, and usually in VS Code it should be.
It is the VS Code's autocomplete. Yeah.
Increase font size. Okay, so we are learning something new. I'm learning something new. So this one and shift. Okay. Idea. Oh god. JetBrains, look at this.
Wow.
Cool.
So zooming in is an error.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I just changed to version. So it's running on version 1. So basically, I will change to version 2 and save it, and I will add. Oh, it's added, right? Yeah. Update app version. I'm gonna push to the main branch, which is not a good practice, but for demo, yes. Cool. And if we go to our pipeline now, let's refresh. Okay, it's already triggered. It's already the build spec,
Yep.
build
Whoa,
station.
that was quick.
That was quick, yes. Okay, while it's going on, I want to show something really important. Let's go to IAM. Actually, my bad. I was super excited. I missed this one. This is very important. And
The
it's,
service role.
yes, so it's, sorry, it's the tutorial, right? Yes, so this part where the mentioning, like, so even though your cluster is in private endpoint access, and in the private subnet, make sure it should go to the net gateways, because it needs to access to the S3s and to pull all the stuff, the artifacts. So that's why they're saying, like, here, create a public subnet to host net gateway. So blah blah blah. This document is nice. So it's clearly clearly saying what to do and everything. And yeah, but I am looking for this one. Okay, so there are two options, two things. If you're public, you can focus on this. But here we are going one more advanced, which is private. So this statement should be inside your code pipeline service role. So we're going to check that in a moment. Basically, you should have your cluster ARN to give describe cluster. So that's how you should be the code pipeline should be able to later authenticate and authorize with the cluster, where we have to create a EKS, access entry later in the cluster side. So we're going to check that all later now. Cool. So this one, and it should be able to do like describe DHCP option. Some couple of describe things are here.
Yeah, sorry to
And
interrupt you, Zach.
yeah,
Looks
yeah.
like LinkedIn, we are not on the good resolution. So, in case somebody is still watching on LinkedIn, you can switch to YouTube for today.
Oh, actually, we should have the disclaimer. We are trying out a new streaming service, so yeah, it's
That's
good
the
to
name.
get.
That's the name.
Yeah. So this is the very interesting part here. So you reading this, Zach, you can understand. We are giving some permission and create network interface permission, and delete network interface to code pipeline. So that's
Mhm.
how it's behind the scene. It's creating the network part of it to connect to the private endpoint. A private EKS cluster. And I capture
That's great.
those traces like cloud trails logs. So the cloud trail, I'll show you later in a moment. So let's go to my IAM role here, and if I get roles and Togo, if we go to this one, policies, I think I will open from as a new one, so it can be seen properly. Cool. So if I scroll down, Cool. So according to the doc, Amazon doc, so describe cluster. So my cluster name is here. So you should be able to describe this specific cluster, or else you can add your multiple clusters. So it's up to you how you get the permission, but make sure the deployment you're going to do, the cluster should be here. And a couple of describe option under the EC2. And here I have provided my subnet IDs for create network interface, create network interface permission, and delete network interface. So if I go back to my cluster, and if I go to my cluster networking, so basically these are the subnets. Super easy, right? So you have to just add these permissions. That's it. That's it. So connectivity is done, which means if we go back to here, so here the connectivity part is now done. It should be able to connect. But again, this is Kubernetes. Now we have to do the authentication and authorization part, right? So again, it made easier with access entries. So I have access entry here already created, which is sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Where's our Doggo app deployment? Nice. So this IAM role is my code pipeline service role. So here I have access policy attached, cluster admin. So it's a cluster wide role. It's not a good practice, or it's not a best practice to do for a production class one, but this is for a demo purpose, and I thought of just using it. It's all right, and which means this role should be able to do create, delete, edit in any namespaces. I mean, cluster scope, anything, not even namespace, like cluster scope, anything. If you're a Kubernetes person, you know what I'm talking about. And if you if you want to add different policies, it supports here. And if you want, we can talk this about another day. And I love to talk about that. It's super cool. Because
Ideas
I know
for the next episode.
yes, because I know it's before I'll quickly explain. Like before, if you want to have those things, Zach, all these RBAC, we call this RBAC,
Yep.
and you have to map the RBAC with Kubernetes RBAC with the AWS IAM. You have to manage everything in a config map. Still, it's possible because my access management support for both EKS API and config map. So managing a long config map when you're growing, it's very harder. So using this, it's super easy. You can manage it. So network connectivity is done, and now authentication authorization is done. So which means CodePipeline should be able to deploy to our cluster. So let's go back and see here what happened. Ooh, it's success. So let's hit the dogs. Nice, it's success. Now if I go here and refresh, we should be able to see version 2.
Two.
Oh, wait,
Not yet. Not yet.
not yet.
Not
Why
yet.
is it cached? No. Why it's not? Cool. Let's figure it out. Why not? I pushed to the correct repo, right?
Did you push it to a different branch, or is it to the?
No, it's the main branch because it's triggered, right? Because it's triggered the
Yes.
pipeline.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, it's the leaders. Cool. So I hope it's not cached. Cool.
Try it in the incognito window, just in case if it's cached.
Yes, why not? Nope.
Nope.
Definitely not cache. Cool. So let's quickly check. This is fun.
Best part of live demos.
Yes.
We also do live debugging.
Yes. So let's go to the ECR and see. Cool. It's 21:30 on the size, right? What's the time? It's 10. Yes. And the latest, it should be. Cool. Let me go to the cluster. Okay. So I told you, right? I'm going to use the Cloud Shell to troubleshoot this. Let's use the Cloud Shell and let's troubleshoot it. Okay, before we go to the Cloud Trail, Cloud Shell, I want to go to the Cloud Trail. Oopsie. Cool. So these are the things I was talking about, Zach, before. So see, right? Create network interface and network interface permissions. Or say, so ECR is upload layer part means that it's upload to the ECR already. The put image is here. Is this the one triggered by the code pipeline? Yes, code pipeline service role. See, create network interface.
Yep.
So this is what we're talking about, and all this permission should be able to do it. Cool. Let's try this out now. I'm going to create a new environment and EKS code pipeline demo, and my VPC should be this. I have to create in one of the private subnet. It doesn't matter. It's all right. Create. It can't take this long. No way. Let's say it's created the new pods for me. Oh, wait.
It says 9 hours ago created pods.
Oh, yes. New pods not created. Why is that? Interesting. Cool. No worries. Let's do some Kubernetes troubleshooting. We have 16 more minutes. Fun. Cool. So I have to add my cluster config, EKS, update, config. My cluster name is AWS Fanboy. Dev. Cool. kubectl pods. Yes, 8 hours ago. So definitely, did I deploy to a different cluster? No, just kidding. So let's see. CDL get events. Hmm, 5 minutes ago, replicas created. The latest image. Okay, what I'm gonna do, it's something can't default prevent. Okay, my pod disruption. Really? Two nodes are running. Okay, so Helm command doesn't comes with by default, so you have to install Helm, Cloud Shell. So you have to install this separately. It's super cool, super fast. Cool. It's already there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to uninstall, install my release Dogo app. Okay. So if I go here and refresh, it's gone. So no deployments running. And so nothing in default namespace. So it's all Kubernetes default one, and this running in the release again stack. So right. So it's nothing to do with the code pipe. It's something to do with my. I can check that later. I have the events. I feel like pod disruption blocked it, but it can't be.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, while we wait on the build,
Yes.
Muhammad was asking a question. I think when you were talking about the
No. Sorry, my answer. I saw the question. My answer is no. No. So that's why it's don't need to do any complex settings for this. Just let me explain again. You have to make sure, according to the official doc, this statement should be inside your code pipeline service role. So my one is to go app. So when you create a code pipeline, there's service role. And if you go through my blog, I have explained in detail one by one. And you have to add that policy document here. So your connectivity is done. So you don't have to do anything. So that's why I was showing you around before in the CloudTrail. So the CloudTrail logs, you can see the network interface. Okay, this is from the EKS. So something like this, I think. Create network interface. Yes. No, this is from my one. Then this one. Nope. So the Cloud Shell I created. So you see, right? Even the Cloud Shell, the same event name. So behind the scene, it's create the same thing. Yes. So code pipeline service role, I found another log event, create network interface. So Mohammed, behind the scene, it's create the network interface and everything for you. You don't have to do anything. And you can see it will create in the same subnet where the EKS cluster is running. So if I go to the cluster here, I hope so. It should be yes. So it's created under this subnet. So it creates for you. You don't have to do anything. Code pipeline take care of you. So no need to use private link.
Interesting.
Okay, so it's now deploying. So what we can do, we can just okay, if I get yes. Now pods are here. And CDL get ingress. Okay. Typo. Nice. Let's create a new ingress URL. Oh, big commands from there. Fine. Anyways, it should take some time to propagate the DNS. So let's wait for a while. But deployment succeeded. So yeah, sometimes debugs can go wrong, but definitely it's nothing to do with the code pipeline. The deployment is done. My misconfiguration the cluster because I was playing around with it today, and I shouldn't have touched it, the demo platform before the live. But anyways, it's a good. It's fun, right? While live, you troubleshoot and figuring out and fixing it. Yeah, it's fun. Part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing with the demo guards, and
Yeah.
demo
I'm
guards.
so
are
sorry.
like,
I was very
okay.
rushing the troubleshooting. Yeah, let's see where this should be there now. Come on.
Yeah, Bhavesh has a comment. You're not into EKS and Kubernetes stuff. You have to learn something new. That's what even I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not into EKS gate stuff. Here to learn something. Yes. If you before you come to EKS, I would suggest, Bhavesh, definitely learn Kubernetes, the base of Kubernetes, and come to EKS first. Yes. But yeah, I think it's a statement, but that's what I did.
Yep.
Um,
Well, even
nice.
that's what even
So,
I'm doing. I'm learning new.
so we
Ah,
have
version
version
2.
2.0. Yes. Yes. So I am going to get events and watch for events. I'm going to try version 3 also, Zach. Is it okay?
Let's try.
Let's try.
And let's hope the demo gods are still happy
Yeah,
with you.
yes, I got to. That's why I just wanted to check. I'm watching the events. So Kubernetes events, we can see what's going behind the scene, and it should be able to create the pods. And yeah, it will take some time. It's already built stage and it's
Wow.
building it.
Nice.
Because of
So,
this, I mentioned. Sorry, Zach. Because of this, because I'm using the latest tag, right? So that's why I put the pull policy as always. Otherwise, um, uh, if not available, what will happen? Because the latest image will be there, and it won't pull the most latest one. Yeah,
mm,
yeah. Change tag.
I
So
think
yes,
yes.
no need to change the tag because it's that's why I put using the pull policy as always. So it should pull the latest. Sorry, it, every time it should pull the container image.
Interesting.
Yeah, it should work. I was playing around with this.
Okay, there's some
Telling,
more
yeah, now
events.
it's stopping container. Nice. Delete pod.
It didn't create new pods, right? Or
Yeah,
you just
should
deleted it.
delete. No, it won't delete before it's creating because that's where the pod disruption is coming in. Okay, it's blocked by this one. Nice. Okay. Oh, PDB default. Oh, the pod disruption is the main thing. Fine. Now it's pulling, creating container. Okay, new container creating. So successfully pull the latest one again.
Okay, it's deploying.
Still deploying, yeah. Oh, the group bindings are reconciling. So the traffic should be good. New one.
Okay, while it's deploying,
Yeah.
John is sharing something similar that he faced. In ECS, that he deployed the app will not use latest image
Yeah,
version.
it should. Yeah, it should be able. We should. I mean, is a production. We don't use the latest usually. We use the tag, which is when you create a release, right? So you use that the tag for the container tag, the hash itself. It should be pulling, but because of that, I'm using these the pull policies always. So which means it should be able to. It should deploy the container each time, like the image. So so yes, John. It should use the latest to the git hash. That's correct. So in the production, it should be like that. But for the demo, I was trying to use the latest tag here, but unfortunately, it was working. I tried out multiple times. Interesting.
Something to debug and probably
Yeah.
something to share in our net podcast as
Yes.
well, right? Guess Bhavesh has another question. So,
7 minutes
uh,
ago it's loaded. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, Bhavesh has a question.
Yeah.
How to set up if you want to only auto deploy changes on major or minor version changes, but not on a patch one?
how to set up if we want to only auto deploy changes on major and minor version changes, but not patch one. What mean patch? Like, so I correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to understand what of the application, right? He's mentioning about like major and minor version changes, but not the patch one. Is it for the application, Bhavesh, or
I guess for application, probably Pavish
yes,
can
yes, yeah, so yes,
come in.
so I think I understand the question. So what you can do, if you go here, so you can create the triggers, right? So can I have filters? So you can select to, or I think he's talking about the auto deal pro. Yes, so you can have
Yep.
trigger to which branch. So if you want to have a feature branch or like a dev branch or something like that, you can do like which one to trigger. And for the production ones, like if I go back here, so let's say your pipeline, you have multiple stages like dev, UAT, and last one the production. So before that, you can have a manual approval, like like before the approval, it won't go, like you will have verifying and reviewing everything manually before you deliver it to the production. So
Yeah.
minor one, I think that's
So
how I understood the
what
question.
what he's asking is, suppose you have an application something like 1.2.0,
Yeah.
and you have another patch version 1.2.1, and you don't want to auto deploy on 2.1 1.2.1. Instead, if it is a minor version, that is 1.3 or 2.0, that is when you want to auto deploy. So is that possible, is what he's asking. I guess that's what he's asking. Is that right, Pavish? Because he did add 1.2.0, then he said no to 1.2.1, that's the patch version, and yes to 1.3.0. So yeah, that's what he's asking. Is this possible to
Sorry. Can you repeat that again, Zach?
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, that is correct. So say if we have minor changes
Hmm.
and you want to auto deploy them. So say for example you have an app on 1.2.0, and if you have a minor version 1.3, you want to auto deploy it. But if you have a patch version, say as 1.2.1, you don't want to auto deploy it. So is that possible?
So versioning is handled by the uh, how are you handling the versioning? Like you're creating a release or a tag from the Git your Git repo. So
Not sure.
it depends on, right, how you
Yeah.
creating a release. So each version, okay, the container images when you're pushing to the repositories, right, like ECR, you have to tag them like as a releases. So it should be mutable, right? So each version you have to create a new one. So you just don't go and edit the image, right? You can't do it. So in that case, you have to have your policies like how you set up internally, like so like
Release tags, yes.
1.3.0, so release tags, right? So depends on that, you have to set up the rules. So I never came across something like that. Maybe I'm not understand the question very well, but uh, so yes, your versions can be tagged as tags here. So for example, so these all are image digest, right? So John was saying that we can use the shard digest as the tag.
Hmm.
So how you tagging them? For example, I'll quickly go to the repo and I'll go to the build spec.yml, and here, so the commit hash I'm taking from code build resolve source version, right? So something like that. Here I'm taking the commit hash as a tag, and you can have a release tag, and you can tag your artifacts like contain images. Then you want to deploy 1.3.0, but you don't want to deploy 1.3.1 by auto, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So yes, so you can have, in that case, you have to manage by your source control level, and here you can have something like uh, expressions. Sorry, again I'm the wrong one. Okay, triggered.
So
So you
you
can
enable
have,
triggers only for
yeah.
those. Got it.
Yes, yes. So, for example, don't start pipeline under these conditions, like a branch or tag. So if your tag is something like, if you're tagging it be um, 1.2.1 or something, like what is mentioned, like a patch version. So in that case, you can avoid it. Like I think it should support something like a regular expression something. So it should be able to, you should be able to filter. You can have the condition like, you start under this condition, and don't start under this condition, either branch wise or tag wise. So yeah, I think that makes
Understood.
sense. Is it,
Yep.
Bhavesh? And you can have multiple step. Yeah, different
Oh,
stage per release. Yeah, that's correct. Sorry, yeah, we're supposed to talk about this one, but yes, we went through code pipeline thing. That's cool. I love it. Yeah. Yes. So yes, it's not picking up the latest. Basically, I think it's picking up the image. And it's picking up the latest image from these all containers. Sorry, from the node itself. So I'm quickly check. We'll check the time. It's 10:33. So I'm gonna quickly check my nodes health. 14 and 15 minutes ago. It's not bad. I am going to scale deploy. Deploy my name. I'm going to deploy this. Gosh, 20. Oh, sorry. And I'm going to scale the replicas to 6. So new pods are created. Let's see whether it's pulled the latest. Yes.
yep.
Yes. So the thing is, yes, it's taking from the cache. Yep. So yeah, it's always used to take the use the hash like John mentioned, but according to my pull policy, it's always, so it should be take from always. I'll have a look why, because it was working. I was playing around with this tutorial since last week, and I mean it should pull always.
Yeah, you just triggered the
Yeah.
demo gods, so they're just playing around with you.
Yes. Yes. It's a good learn. Like every time we learn something, right? So yeah, cool. So in production, basically, you have to basically in your values file, um, you have to pass the latest here, right? So you have to programmatically, you have to update your the digest, the tag always. So each time it will be a tag. So here, so you can pass that one each time. So it's a unique one. So definitely it should be able to pull the new one, but it took from the cache. Yep, it's so fun. So let's wrap it up quickly because we're over time. And um, yes, so make sure you have to create your IAM code pipeline service role policies. So you should be able to access the network resources and do all the magic behind the scene. And you have to have EKS describe cluster because we have to set up the authentication and authorization through EKS access entries. Then it should be, oh, that's all it, like you should be able to deploy it and no need any complex setup. So this is really cool. I'm going to play around with different combination, like we received some comments, right, about the multi-staging and different
Hmm.
things. So maybe we can do another session about focusing on code pipeline features, um, trying it out.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. First, we'll see why the cached image is being
Yeah,
pulled.
it's yeah, different. Yeah, maybe, yeah. I'll check with my colleague also tomorrow. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, you just played around too much.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
My dry eye is killing me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
This was insightful.
Nice.
I learned something new. Not
Yes.
something, a lot new.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah, I'm not gonna kill the infrastructure, and I'm gonna try it out. Why my always pull is not working.
Awesome, Zach.
Cool.
That was wonderful.
Yep.
And
Yes.
yeah, wow. Yeah, I love the part that, yes, we did a live demo and also did a live debugging. So amazing. Uh, hope everyone also loved the whole session about how this is possible, and I really love the fact about you don't have to manage with uh, when it's private networks. You don't have to really go and manage the infra for it. You just have to manage on the service roles, and really cool features. Although not a Kubernetes guy, but yeah, I'm sure that you are already loving it.
Yes. Yes. Hopefully, I hope there will be more improvements future, like adding more supports for this area, so we can try it out.
Yep. So thank you all for joining in. Uh, Until the next time, where we talk something about Kubernetes, Code Pipeline, or something
Yep.
new on AWS.
Cool.
Awesome. So, see you all soon.